The main issue I've heard from mailers is deliverability. So
Mhm.
let's start there. What do you think the top three deliverability mistakes are that mailers are making?
I would say the best advice I can give to affiliate marketers is to
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the MaxWeb YouTube channel. Today, we're going to talk about email with our guest, Manny. Manny, thanks a ton for joining us. Why don't you let our viewers know a little bit about your history in email and what Maripost does?
Sure. Thank you very much for inviting me to this webinar with you. Hello, everyone. My name is Manny Jew, and I've been a professional email marketer for about 20 years. I've been involved with 3 different email service providers. I've held leadership positions at all 3 of them. And right now, I am with Maripost as a product consultant. I'm the former VP of Product and Customer Success at Maripost. And in my new role at Maripost, what I do is I primarily train the internal staff, the sales team, as well as the customer success team in email marketing, how to be experts in email marketing for Maripost customers who themselves are expert email marketers.
Very nice, very nice. This is perfect because I'm obviously not a professional email marketer. So I have a ton of questions for you, and the answers to my questions will also be very helpful for our mailers and any mailer in the space, whether they're on MaxWeb or not. So yeah, thank you for joining, and thank you for letting me pick your brain today. The main issue I've heard from mailers is deliverability. So
Mhm.
let's start there. What do you think the top three deliverability mistakes are that mailers are making?
Sure. If I were to list them in order, I'd say first one is just poor list acquisition process. When we talk about mailers and particularly affiliate marketers, unfortunately, they are notorious for having abnormally high spam trap email addresses on their lists, and naturally, their sending reputation takes a hit. And the second one is really not providing, I would say, providing little to no value in the emails that they send. And that's one of the things that we struggle with specifically affiliate marketers, because the analogy I use is you watch a TV program because you want to watch a TV program, and nobody likes it when all you see are commercials. And unfortunately, we see a lot of affiliate marketers doing just that, sending nothing but offers to their email list. So what we try to tell them is that you got to provide some value to the people who want to receive your emails. And the last thing I would think is not paying attention enough to responders and non-responders. I've been to a lot of conferences for marketers. They talk a lot about strategies for list growth, but I don't hear a lot of them talking about list retention. And it's a lot like somebody who says, "Hey, I know my house is burning down, but as long as I can build it faster, I'll always have someplace to live." Right? So they don't think about the attrition on their list. They just think about acquiring, and that's not good practice either.
Yeah, no, makes sense. Thank you for sharing those. I have a couple follow-up questions there. So you said, some affiliates may not be providing enough value to their mailing list, just sending ads, not providing any value. What would you say is the golden ratio of, emails that provide value to emails that promote a product?
Sure. Maripost, we try to go by the 80-20 rule, right? You don't want to send emails, or you don't want 100% of your emails to be offers. So we go by the 80-20 rule, and that is 80% of your emails should be informational content specifically that the people signed up for to begin with when they gave you their email address. And then 20% of your emails should be promotions. Same thing, going back to the TV program analogy, right? 80% of the programming should be the program, and 20% should be commercials. Now, it's the same thing with merchants too, because a lot of merchants do sell affiliate offers as well. So it's really the same rule too. Make 80% of your emails be product related, about your product, the things that people came to buy from you, and then make 80%, make the remaining 20% of your emails to be affiliate offers. So as long as you do the 80-20 rule, you should be okay.
80-20 rule. That's the first big key insight, I think, here. I
Yeah,
like it. Thank you. Thank you. So next question I had for you, and this is another one that we've been asked before, is what advice do you have for warming up domains or IPs, particularly in the supplement niche or really just in general?
sure. Um, the biggest thing is play by the rules of your mailbox provider. Don't try to game the system, right? And so here's the thing. You got to look at it from the mailbox provider's perspective because like it or not, mailbox providers like Gmail, like Yahoo, they don't represent us, the marketers. They represent our subscribers. That's who they're working for. So it's in their best interest to make sure that they receive the emails that they're interested in. And unfortunately, a lot of times that means that mailbox providers are working against us. So the more we play by the rules, the more likely our emails will make the inbox. So, first things first, if you've got a brand new email from domain, right, you're going to have to prove to the mailbox providers like Gmail, like Yahoo, like Microsoft, that your emails are inbox worthy. So, what are you going to do? Well, hopefully you have some type of sending reputation. So, what you want to do is send emails to the people who have most recently responded to your emails. They've clicked in them or they've opened them. And you're doing that because you're training the AI models that the mailbox providers use to determine inbox worthy emails. And the second thing is you don't want to send emails all at once. This is the biggest mistake that we see marketers do, especially affiliate marketers, because they get paid by performance. So look at it this way, once again, from the perspective of the mailbox provider. If all of a sudden they see this massive dump of emails coming from a email from domain that they've never seen before, well, what do you think they're going to think? Right? So you want to be patient and you want to gradually phase in a little at a time the emails when you're sending from a brand new email from domain. Now, I get asked all the time, well, hey, I've got a email from domain that has good reputation, and now I want to start sending from a new IP address. Do I still need to be cautious? And the answer to that is yes. Why? Because mailbox providers look at two things: the email from domain and the IP address that sent the email. If either of those two are brand new, that's a red flag to them. So that's why you want to make sure that the email from domain and the IP address that's sending, both of them, you want to build up the reputation of your sending gradually, following their rules.
Start slow and build it up. Love it.
Yep.
Another good insight. Thank you. So we've talked about deliverability. We've talked about warming up the IPs and domains. So assume your emails are getting delivered, IP and the domain, the list is warmed up. How does Maripost help ensure high inbox placement on delivered emails?
Sure. I just want to get on my soapbox here and want to let the audience know there's no such thing as 100% inbox placement. Okay. Nobody should be guaranteeing you 100% inbox placement. If they do, that ain't right. Now, there are things that Maripost can do to enable as high as possible of inbox placement as you can get. So, what do we do? Two things: the infrastructure and the guidance, right? Obviously, the sending infrastructure needs to be reputable because, like I said, the mailbox providers look at the IP address that's sending the emails. So if the IP address itself has good reputation, off to a good start. But you know what? There are actually other factors that are totally outside of Maripost or any email service provider's control. And the reason for that is because the people, like say, Joey, let's say you're a marketer, I'm a marketer. The people in your list are completely different than the people in my list. Everybody's inboxes are different. Everybody's spam folders are different, right? So the ones who have the greatest determination of high inbox placement actually are the marketers themselves. There needs to be responsibility and accountability for what they do. Are you capturing email addresses the right way? Is there continuity between what the recipients are expecting to receive and what you're actually sending them in the emails? And number three, are you as a marketer paying attention to your list? Are you removing non-responders from your list? Because non-responders, habitual non-responders, really are nothing more than boat anchors who are dragging down the reputation of the emails that you're sending.
Boat anchors. That's a good comparison and a good way of looking at it. And I call back. I like the burning down the house but building it faster analogy.
Yeah.
Make sure your house isn't burning. Make sure your anchor's not out. My next question probably ties into all of this, and it's about compliance.
Mm.
So, are there and what are the compliance red flags you see when mailing? I mean, specifically for our audience, VSL and health products, but just in general, if you have compliance red flags. Thank
Yeah, Joey, that's an interesting question because of this audience, right? Because affiliates know what the red flags are. And I mean, you and I know that many of them just they push the edge, they push the boundary, right? For example, I've seen as an email marketer and reviewing some of the emails of our clients, I've seen VSLs targeted towards men with, shall I say, a certain condition. And of course, the claims that they make in those VSLs, I mean, come on, right? So the general rule is obvious. Just be honest. People appreciate that, right? But if you're working on an offer, brand new, and you don't want to raise any red flags, here, do this. This is what I recommend. Okay. Get your favorite generative AI tool, whether it's Chat GPT or Claude or my new favorite, Grok, right? And then give it the content of your VSL or of your email, and then tell it to act as a compliance manager at Meta or the compliance manager of TikTok or whatever, right? Tell the generative AI tool to act as a compliance manager. Ask it to review your copy, ask it to review your script, and then ask it to give you suggestions on how you can improve it to meet compliance standards. Now, here's something interesting, though. A point I want to make too is that the nice thing about email, okay, is that you're not subject to the biases that are, shall we say, hard coded into many ad networks, compliance checkers, right? I mean, for those of us who have had our Facebook ads rejected for no reason whatsoever, you know what I'm talking about. But
you.
email is nice. You are in control of your content. You're much more responsible. But nevertheless, let AI tools be a guideline for you. Let them read, tell them to act as compliance managers, take the feedback that they get and use it. Yeah, if you need to push the envelope a little bit with your email, that's fine, but just be reasonable. Be reasonable.
Yeah, that's an interesting comparison because obviously, when affiliates are buying media on Facebook or one of these native platforms, they are going through a review process. There is a compliance team reviewing the ads, whether it's automated or not. There's some layer of compliance. With email, that's not the case. You can kind of send whatever you want, not for too long, but there is no compliance side on that. So I think it's important for mailers to be disciplined and take the compliance side into their own hands, whether it's using AI or just studying email compliance as a whole. It's important because there is no layer of compliance placed when you're sending an email. So it's very interesting. Thanks again for the tips.
Yeah,
Um,
correct.
so my next question for you, next topic I want to get into
Mhm.
is how can newer mailers what are their best practices for building an engaged list?
Okay. Okay. So let me give you a good analogy. You got your chief revenue officer who looks at money coming into the company, and you got your chief financial officer who's looking at money going out of your company, right? So if your cash outflow is more than your cash inflow, then your company's not going to be around for very much longer, right? So it's the same thing for email, and I mentioned it before. True list growth means that you're paying attention to both ends. Okay. You're paying attention to acquiring new email addresses coming in, new leads, but you also got to be paying attention to keeping them engaged once you got them so that they don't leave, right? I've seen a lot of videos where experts talk about how to grow your list, how to acquire new subscribers, how to acquire new leads for your email list. But you know what's really interesting is that they hardly ever talk about how to keep them from becoming disengaged from your email list. And so it goes back to the same thing that I mentioned at the beginning, and that is, what are you as the affiliate marketer giving in exchange? What is it of value that you're giving in exchange for that email address? Okay, sure, I get it. Maybe many times the VSL is the thing that you're giving in exchange for that email address. Okay, so now they got the VSL. Now you got their email address. Well, now what? What's next? Right? So if you
Another
still
VSL.
Right. Yeah. So if you still want to send more emails to that same individual, well, that means that the onus is on you as the marketer to keep providing continual value. And that's the problem. People stop. They think, oh, I got the email address, I gave them the VSL, and now I can send them anything. And that's just not true. You got to keep providing value to what you're sending them.
Okay, I assume this might be a predicament some of the viewers are in. Maybe they have a big email list, and a lot have become disengaged. What can they do to healthily, properly re-engage those emails that have kind of fell off, stopped opening, stopped clicking, stopped responding?
Oh, to re-engage? Yeah. Okay. So that's a win back campaign. All right. We call those win back campaigns where you're trying to re-engage, right? People who have maybe become disengaged. Sure. Well, first things first, if you want to re-engage, obviously you got to look at yourself and find out, why are people disengaging? And you don't have to look too far, because a lot of times that's exactly what people are doing. As I mentioned with the answer to your earlier question about the 80-20 rule, are
Mhm.
you, as the affiliate marketer, providing anything of value? Or all you doing just sending them commercial after commercial after commercial? And of course, they're going to tune out, right? So let's talk about win back campaigns, what you want to re-engage. But actually, the funny thing is, the real purpose of a win back campaign isn't to win back. The real purpose of a win back campaign is to scrape off the deadbeats from your email list. It's just that win back sounds a lot better than deadbeat scraping, right?
Sure does.
So, yeah. So what you're going to do is you're going to send 2 to 3 emails, right? And anyone who receives all 3 of those emails, but yet never engages them, never opens them, well, those are the ones you're going to get off your email list. Because, like I said, these are the boat anchors that are drawing down your sending reputation, right? So, but the thing is, before you run a win back campaign, you got to remember, these guys are inactives, all right? So you don't want to dump them into this type of a campaign all at once. Think about it. Why? Once again, come at it from the mailbox provider's perspective. If all of a sudden you dump 500,000 emails all at once and none of them respond to them, well, you've just told the mailbox provider that nobody cares about your emails. And so guess what? They're going to stop caring about your emails too. No wonder your emails all of a sudden go to the spam folder instead of to the inbox. So the way to do a win back campaign properly is to gradually phase them in, roll them in, and blend them in with the regular email campaigns that you're sending. Because remember, you're sending the people who are totally disengaged. And that's how you run a win back campaign. But more importantly, you got to take a look at what you're sending. You got to start thinking about, what is it of value that you're providing to the person who gave you the email address in the first place.
Yeah, that's interesting. Obviously, when mailing the inactive users, you don't want to do it all at once. I didn't think of it like that. Like, win back campaign sounds great. Oh, get them all one. Let's win them all back. But if you do it all
Yeah,
at once, you're just gonna probably do more damage than good.
that's true.
That's interesting. So we're kind of on the subject of segmentation with the inactive users and active
Mhm.
users. So one of the big questions I wanted to ask you was, what list segmentation rules do you have to help affiliates maximize EPC when mailing?
Okay. So I would say the best advice I can give to affiliate marketers to stop to start thinking less like an affiliate and start thinking more like a merchant. So stop thinking like an affiliate, start thinking more like a merchant. So what do I mean by that? Um, Merchants who also send affiliate offers, you know what I'm talking about, right? Because they don't just blast out an offer. They send offers to people who are interested in that particular product, right? So merchants, of course, I get it. Merchants have the advantage, right? They know what products their customers are buying and they know what they're buying and who bought them. So they use that information to retarget emails, right, to those same individuals and they send them complimentary products, right? These are the cross sell, these are the upsell emails. I get it. As an affiliate, you don't necessarily have access to that granularity of information, but fortunately, you can still use information that you do have available to you to use. And here's what I mean. As an affiliate, okay, I'm looking at my commission dashboard to see what offers are really resonating with my email list, right? And I also know what were the email campaigns that I sent promoting each offer. So here's what I can do. I can create a segment of my subscriber list who clicked on a email campaign that I was using to promote a particular offer, right? My best-selling offer that I'm getting the most commissions on. So as long as I'm not promoting the offer through other channels like paid media, right? As long as I'm promoting the offer through email only, then campaign clicker is a pretty good proxy to offer buyer. Okay. So here's something you have to pay attention to. Let's say you run a report and you find out how many of your contacts clicked on your email to your best selling offer. Okay. And let's just say hypothetically that the number of campaign clickers is way, way higher than the number of buyers that you know you got just by looking at the commission revenue that you have. Okay. That may indicate to you that you got a real disconnect between what your email says you're offering to what the landing page really says you're offering. So you know what I'm saying? You generated all this interest from your email. You got people all excited and they click through and they see the landing page and like, oh, that's not what I thought it was, right? So that's what I mean. If you have a disproportionately high number of clicks to buys, that's a good indication you might want to go back and take a look at your email. But as long as you got it within range, use your campaign clickers as a proxy to product buyers. And then now you can create a segment of that and start to send emails to these people promoting affiliate offers that are complementary to your best selling one.
Got it. Got it. So the clickers are kind of the opposite of the inactive list. Do you want to just mail all of those every time?
Definitely, when you're sending to campaign clickers, these are the people that have proven to you and to the mailbox providers they care about your emails, right? And so that's why it's really important to be sending only to the people who care about your emails. Because here's the thing, I get it. As an affiliate marketer, it cost me a lot to acquire an email, right? It's expensive because I've gone through all the list acquisition procedure. I've done my media buying, I've paid all that stuff. And so I don't want to let that email address go. It's like, you don't know what I paid to get it. But here's the problem. If that person never responds, so the mailbox providers looks at the percentage of emails that you're sending and they measure how many people are responding. Well, guess what? It's pretty much going to be the same people who respond again and again. So the fewer emails that you're sending in general, the higher the percentage are the ones who actually want your emails, right? That's just simple arithmetic. If the numerator is the same, when you decrease the denominator, your fraction goes up higher. So that's why it's important to get rid of all the deadbeats, send it to the people who really want your email, and then your response rate goes higher. And then mailbox providers say, hey, there's a greater percentage of people who want this email. Let's route more and more of their emails to the inbox.
Got it. Again, great insights. Thank you. Thank you. I'm learning a lot. Hopefully, the viewers are as well. So, we're talking a lot about email. One thing we haven't talked about is the actual email creative itself. Do you see, in general, and not vertical specific, but do you see in general plain text emails or HTML heavy emails performing better?
Okay. Um, by plain text, I'm assuming you literally mean plain text, right?
Yeah.
Because back in the day when I got started 20 years ago in email marketing, I know I'm dating myself, but can you believe it? The iPhone didn't even exist? Holy smokes! Yeah. So plain text emails ruled the day, right? BlackBerry was king. So now, fast forward 20 years later, there's no good reason why emails sent shouldn't be HTML formatted. Okay. Because these days, almost everybody reads their emails on mobile devices, and HTML formatted emails render better in mobile devices than plain text emails. But that having been said, if you mean HTML formatted emails that look like plain text emails, like they were just banged out of a Smith Corona typewriter, sure. It depends. I've seen a lot of different types of emails. Here's a good example. Affiliate marketers, it's all about grabbing sales in the moment, right? That emotional impulse buy. And so affiliate marketers tend to use direct response copywriting techniques, right? Obviously, same techniques used in VSL script writing. So these types of emails are typically text heavy, right? Because you're relying on the copywriting framework, right? To drive interest. Now, on the other hand, merchants send out product related emails. Sure, they tend to be more images, right? So the typical rule of thumb that we always give out is 60-40. 60% of your email should be plain text. I'll say it this way. If you are going to use images, then 60% of your email should be should be text, and 40% of your email should be images. You start to run the problems when you just send pure image heavy emails. That's when you run into deliverability issues.
Okay, got it. And you mean 60% of the email itself, not of the sends, right?
Yeah, 60% of the email body. Yeah, the content itself. 60% of the email content should be text. 40% of the email content should be images.
Perfect. Yeah, mostly in the VSL space, as you probably know, it's a lot of text heavy emails, whether it's HTML or not. It's mostly just text. Um, so that's good insights as well. Thank you again. Next section, I kind of wanted to move into Maripost specific questions. And Maripost primarily focuses on high volume sends of emails.
Correct.
So I wanted to ask you, what kind of support do you offer affiliates who are looking to send emails in volume, high volume email?
Oh, great question. Thanks a lot. Because actually, Maripost is one of the few email server providers that welcome affiliates who do want to send in high volume. These are the aggressive sending affiliate marketers, and definitely, um, Maripost happens to be one of the few that has the technical infrastructure and the support. That's the key, and the support to handle high volume email at scale. And I've been to a lot of affiliate marketing conferences, and that's one reason why Maripost name does come up a lot among high volume senders as ones that they prefer to use. Um, some email service providers say they can handle high volume. Well, yeah, that's only because they've got only a few big fish in their pond. But Maripost Pond is big enough to handle a lot of big fish. So that's why Maripost is they do welcome high volume affiliate marketers, senders. And yeah, some of Maripost clients send billions, that's with a B, billions of emails every month.
Amazing, amazing.
Mhm.
So speaking of supporting the big fish, do you offer deliverability coaching, one-on-one coaching audits for any affiliates sending in high volume?
Yes, Maripost does both. It does deliverability audits as well as coaching. Yes.
Okay, amazing. Good to know. Good to know, everybody
Mhm.
watching. Um, so next up, can you walk us through a couple different automation features that would help affiliates make more from their lists?
Sure. It goes back to the same old thing. You want to be able to take advantage of the information that you're getting from your email service provider. You can use a lot of the same types of automated emails that, say, merchants are using. Once again, using email clicks as the proxy. So here's a good example. Let's say you send out a product, and it's always good to make sure that the people are getting the maximum benefits out of a particular product. Let's say Nutra, right? The Nutra space is really, really big. At this point in time, it still is big. If you're going to be sending out nutritional supplements, it would be a good idea to follow up with, well, what should you expect out of taking this particular nutritional supplement? So that's called a education program, because people are only going to buy again from you if they receive the benefits, right? They're not buying the product. Remember that. They're not buying the product, they're buying the benefits. So, what you got to do is follow up with emails that explain the benefits and educate the benefits of what it is that they just bought. Okay. So, that's one type of automation that you can do. Obviously, the best affiliate marketers, I mean, say the best merchants who send nutritional supplements, use the types of programs where, okay, what did you buy and what can I do to upsell you? Did you buy a particular product? Now, can I introduce you to complementary products? So, do the same thing as well. Also, just upsells too. We see that a lot. Did you buy the one? Did you buy just one of the bottles? Well, after I've introduced you to the benefits and I know about when that bottles run out, okay, can I start sending you emails saying, "Hey, didn't you like those benefits that you got? How about buying a 3 bottle pack now? How about buying a 5 bottle pack now?" Right? So you're upselling them on the same product, but you're hitting the benefits. So those are all some really good automated email sequences that merchants use. Affiliate marketers can do the same.
It's kind of genius, actually. The follow up email, does that fall into the informational, educational 80/20 you spoke of earlier in the call?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Perfect. Perfect. Yeah. And I love that idea of, if you have a single bottle purchaser 30 days later trying to sell them on more, they're, assumedly they're running out of product and they're ready to buy more. Genius. Very good insights again. Thank you.
Sure.
Um,
Like,
so another issue mailers run into, or so I've heard, is sudden drops in email, sudden drops in deliverability, and email throttling. So can you walk us through, how Maripost supports emailers in that instance and what they can do to combat it?
sure. So, one of the things that Maripost does is that it will always monitor. It'll monitor the health of all the senders. So the deliverability services actually is a forte at Maripost. There is a full-time deliverability team, and they use blocklist monitoring tools to monitor the IP addresses and the email from domain that all of our clients are sending with. So if the deliverability team finds that one of its clients sending IP addresses or email from domain or both is on any of those block lists, and of course they'll do everything to remediate it, right? Because the IP address, after all, is a corporate asset. So it's definitely in everybody's best interest that the block of that IP address get lifted as soon as possible. So that's very, very important. And another thing too is that because deliverability consultation is a service that Marketing Cloud does provide, then anytime there is a sudden drop or sudden drop in opens or sudden drop in clicks, they'll get involved. But here's another thing too. I'm right now involved with a client whose clicks suddenly jumped 300%. Why? That's suspicious, right? So either way, anytime there's responses that are way out of the ordinary, the team gets involved.
Amazing. You guys are on top of it all. I love it. Um, so, what is something that Maripost does that other ESPs maybe don't do?
I think I think that's one of the things is service, right? That is something that Maripost really excels at, as well as just the sending infrastructure. That's really important, right? Because you need both. You need a technology infrastructure and you need the support specifically to service high volume senders. And I keep going back to that high volume senders. A lot of ESPs will do one or the other, but rarely do both. Okay. Because sending in high volume has its own unique set of challenges, right? Think of it this way: sending in lower volume, mid tier volume, that's a lot like the regular season in professional sports, right? You can make mistakes. You can make mistakes and recover from them, right? The season's long enough. But once you get to the playoffs, right, that's different. That's like sending in high volume because if you've got bad habits and you're sending in low volume, no big deal. But once you start sending in high volume, oh my gosh, all your bad habits get suddenly exposed. It just gets magnified, right? Because you're sending in high volume. It just gets magnified bigger, it gets exposed quicker, and it becomes harder to recover from, right? So that's why you need a email service provider that specializes in sending in high volume to help coach you through how to do it right way, and also more importantly, how to help you recover if you've accidentally done something wrong.
Yeah, no, I love that comparison to regular season and playoffs, especially right now during NBA playoffs. So you're talking a lot about high volume emailing. So my question for you is, for affiliates watching this who maybe don't work with Maripost, how many emails should they be sending a month before considering coming to you guys?
Sure. Maripost being a high volume sender, the rule of thumb, the bare minimum is 250,000 emails a month. Okay, 250,000 emails a month at least. And you should be sending at least several times a week. And you need to have that frequency of the cadence because you want to be sending enough emails frequently enough to build up your sending reputation. So those two things, just think about 250,000 emails a month, be sending at least several times a week.
Okay, makes sense. I probably should have asked this earlier in the call. Is there an optimized sending schedule you recommend, or is it kind of dependent on the list and the products?
Well, it depends. If you're talking about in the early stages of warm up, definitely there is a sending schedule. And that's one thing that's really cool that Maripost does with its deliverability team is that they'll put together a customized onboarding plan. They do that for every client that Maripost onboards. And so they look at sending volume, they look at historical response rates right from the other email platform that they've been on, and they'll put together a customized plan and say, okay, on this day one, you should be sending this many emails per hour. On day two, you should be sending this many emails and so on and so forth. So there's a custom ramp up plan. Now, once your sending domain and your IP addresses are fully warmed up, right? So what do they mean by warm up? It means that the mailbox providers are now accepting at full volume what you intend to be sending going forward. Then it's really up to the senders on how they want to do it, right? So we say at least several times a week because you want to maintain proof to the mailbox providers that you are a legitimate email marketer and not like a spammer who just buys an email list and just blasts it. They're in, they're out, they're done.
Okay, got it. Manny, you've provided some incredible insights on this. I have one final question for you. Everybody's wondering, what email trends should affiliates be paying attention to in 2025 for the rest of the year?
Yeah, let me think about that. You
It's a
know,
tough one, I know. Big question.
yeah. It's really interesting. There's nothing there. Yes, there's always something new about email, but this is just my opinion. A lot of the stuff that's so-called new is just shiny cat toys. It really. There's really nothing new that's a game changer. Okay, game changer about email. There's really nothing new. There are no new rules to commercial email. However, what is new is that mailbox providers are now starting to enforce the rules. Give you a classic example, right? Gmail and Yahoo started enforcing the DMARC authentication standard as recently as February 2024, right? Not that long ago. But check this out. DMARC's been around since 2012. So marketers have had 12 years to comply with DMARC authentication standard. Did they all do it? No. When did they do it? They only did it when they had to do it, right? And so really,
February 2024.
yeah, right. It's been around for 12 years, right? So that's the thing. Nothing really game changing new, but what is new is that the mailbox providers are starting to become more persnickety about enforcing the existing rules that have been around for decades. And so that's the thing. That's why you're seeing a lot of affiliate marketers saying that they're not getting as much money from email as before, right? And they're, unfortunately, I'm sorry to say this, but a lot of them are the same ones with sloppy bad habits. So affiliate marketers need to just up their game and play by the rules, right? Don't try to game the system. Um, and another thing too, I want to let people know that is kind of sort of new, or say what's changing, is it isn't about email itself. What's changing is their audience. Their audience is changing. So here's the thing that I bring up to a lot of our clients, and they hadn't even thought about, and that is they've been sending to a particular demographic, an age demographic with their products. Well, guess what? That age group, I mean, those people that they've been sending, they've aged out
Mhm.
of that demographic. They've aged out. And guess what? The guys who are now aging in to the demographic they're sending, they're completely different. Completely different. Because the people that they were originally sending to, they came from the time when email was still new. And yes, they did like to sign up to receive promotional email. And so that's why to a lot of email marketers, sending email was like printing money, because these are the people who did want to receive promotional emails. Well, guess what? They've aged out. So who have aged in? These are the people who grew up with email. These are the people whose email inboxes are infinitely more crowded than the original audience. They are a lot more particular about the emails that they allow in. So guess what? You guys are now sending to, maybe it's the same age group, but they're a totally different group of people than you've been sending to. So here's what you got to do. You got to take a look at what were the types of the emails that they used to be, that they were receiving. What are the types of emails that they're used to receiving? And I'll bet you that the emails that you're sending to them now aren't the same as the emails that they're used to receive. So what do you got to do? You got to change. You got to change your tactics. You got to change your content to match the emails that they're used to seeing. When you do that, you'll be surprised. A lot of them are going to be sticking around a lot longer in your email lists.
Amazing. So adapt, be adaptable, play by the rules, and mail compliantly. That's it's all incredible insights. I feel like I learned a lot today. Hopefully, our viewers did as well. Manny, thank you.
You bet.
Seriously, incredible insights. Thank you for sharing with us. How can our viewers get in touch with you or get in touch with MaroPost after this if they'd like to?
Sure. If you want to just send me an email, Manny, Manny, Manny at maripost.com. That's fine. If you have any questions, absolutely. I'd be happy to receive them from you.
Do not add him to your mailing list, though.
I
All
don't
right.
know. Who
Thank
knows?
you so much.
Maybe it'll show up on my next podcast.
That's you spying, basically. No, thank you so much, Manny. Everybody, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Reach out to Manny. Talk to Post if you'd like to about more email compliance and sending tactics. Thank you. I think I said it 50 times, but I mean it. Very appreciative of these insights today.
Yeah. Thanks for inviting me, Joey. Appreciate it.
Of course. Have a good one, everybody.
Okay, bye-bye now.